Hello there. My name is Chris Clapp. I am the Executive Director of the Ocean Sewage Alliance. The Ocean Sewage Alliance is a group of organizations who all realized that sewage going into the oceans is a global problem that can be solved locally, and that we all have to work together to do so. So I'm a marine scientist. I was working on a shellfish restoration project and also doing eelgrass, a species of seagrass, restoration work here in the waters off of Long Island, New York. And we had what we thought was tremendous success as we were finding millions, well, probably billions of baby seed clams following our restoration efforts. Baymen were excited. The managers we were working with were excited about the prospects of the resource returning. And then the following year, we had a massive harmful algal bloom known as the brown tide break out in these bays. Now, brown tide itself is really bad food for little baby shellfish. It's like eating a bunch of glass-covered popcorn as your only diet. And then not only that, but when those brown tide then dissipates and settles down into the bottom, it creates anoxic conditions, low oxygen in the bottom. And so all of those baby clams that we were so excited about died, and there was nothing to be found the following year. So we decided to figure out, well, what's causing these brown tides? What's causing red tides? What's causing all these other harmful algal blooms? And we looked to the watershed. And that's when we learned that the geography in which we were working in is heavily reliant upon cesspools and septic systems for its means of wastewater disposal. Now, that's not necessarily always a bad thing if you have low density population, but this is a suburb of New York City and has high density population, and that all of the nutrients coming from all of those cesspools and septic systems leaches into our groundwater, which then makes its way to our bays, fueling these harmful algal blooms. So our team was really faced with a question of, do we give up or do we do something about it? And I went in search of solutions. I began at that moment in time to go out and look for what types of technologies would work well in our region with a heavy decentralized means of managing wastewater, to retrofit these 360,000 homes and another 100,000 commercial properties to a technology that would reduce the amount of nitrogen going into our drinking water and into our surface waters. And so that's how I came into this. Was I wanted to find a cost-effective way that would be palatable to our local elected officials. And that was about a decade ago, maybe a little more. And we've made considerable progress here locally. And so I decided to take what I've learned here and share that information via the Ocean Sewage Alliance. And that's how I got to where I am. If you had to pick one key floatable nugget of wisdom to share with flushers about your work, what would it be? I think one fascinating thing that I've learned along the way is that, you know, once you break the silence or the taboo around people not wanting to talk about this, is that people actually are willing to think about creative ways of managing wastewater more efficiently, creative ways of harvesting the nutrients that are in that wastewater, creative ways of turning the waste to energy. And so I think that's something that I think is really fascinating, is that there is a whole community of people out there that are really excited about this work once you open yourself up to talking about it. If poo could talk, what would it tell us? Amazingly, the poo could tell you a lot of things. It could tell you whether you're sick or not. In fact, tracking poo is one great way to track COVID in populations. It could tell you whether you're a vegetarian or a meat lover. It could tell you just absolutely fascinating things about how you manage yourself and your household. Hi, I'm Chris, and I poo too.